All right, welcome to another special Monday edition of the College Football Gridiron Report here on North Florida Sports Talk. Marty, Pallman, Corey Davis joining you here on this Monday. As you can tell, we are not at Before Brady's in Stark. We are at home, but having to do the show a little earlier this week, trying to a lot going on later in the week. We will be back next week, planning on Before Brady is probably Tuesday, I think, as we're looking at. And that won't be Wednesday because that's Christmas Eve. But then after the new year, we will plan on having a couple of shows. And then our final show right now we're deciding is January 19th, the night of the national championship game for college football. And that's a Monday. So, but now it's time to take a look back at, well, awards week last week, basically. And the first few bowl games get going, but also another busy week in the FCS or the 1AA playoffs. And Corey, we had some more interesting results last week from the FCS playoffs.
Yeah, Illinois State, man, they are become the darlings of 1AA football. This is 3 consecutive road wins for them, and now they're in the semifinals. And if they can win one more road game, they're playing for a national championship, and that is crazy because it is so hard to win on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most impressive one was that win at North Dakota State, the defending champions, number 1 seed. They took out the round before that, and a crazy ending there. But again, yeah, as you said, and we'll get into that in a minute. They went to this time they go to UC Davis. They could trip out to California and get a win. So we'll tell you who they play next, but that was a big win at UC Davis. So let's start, though, with a look at what they call the HBCU National Championship, the Black College Football National Championship game. What a game this was. The Cricket Celebration Bowl. They play this every year at Mercedes Stadium in Atlanta. I saw the score of the second quarter. It was 21-0 Prairie View.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I look up, they're in overtime, and they go 4 overtimes. South Carolina State gets a 2-point conversion and a defensive stop. So the MEAC champion, South Carolina State, defeats the SWAC champion Prairie View. South Carolina State ends up 10-3, Prairie View 10-4 in the Cricket Celebration Bowl. So again, the Black College National Football Championship goes to South Carolina State.
Yeah, I watched part of that game. I watched the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, I had to leave and go to St. Augustine, but I was glued to it on my phone when I got an opportunity to catch a light or go or wherever I was. And Prairie View led this game, like you said, 21-0. They were dominating the game. Prairie View was a big favorite in this game. They had just won the SWAC, and the MEAC has kind of gone down since Bethune and FAMU left, and there's not hardly any schools there left because a couple of the other schools left too, like North Carolina A&T. So it's only a few schools. So South Carolina State was good though, but Prairie View was the pick to win this game. And kudos to South Carolina State. They found a way to come back. They forced overtime. I don't like the overtime period though, and it's all because back in the late 90s, early 2000s, we had I want to say it was Arkansas and Ole Miss or Arkansas, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And it went
Kentucky,
and it went 8 or 9 overtimes, and then there was another game it was another SEC game just like that.
That went Texas A&M LSU game, about 5 years ago or so, went 7 overtime.
We've had multiple games like this, and I always will remember that A&M LSU game because that was literally, with the exception of Army Navy, that was the last regular season football game we had, and it went so many overtimes. But then they changed the format, and starting with the third overtime, you only do 2-point conversions, and I don't like that at all.
I don't either. I'm not a fan of that. They started that, I think, 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And that's after the second overtime.
And Illinois and Penn State went 9 overtimes a couple years ago,
I
and
remember that.
it was all 2-point conversions. And,
Yep.
and there's no strategy. There's no, what the great thing about overtime is you have to at least get, I believe, 2 first downs because you start at the 25 unless you like throw a 25-yard touchdown pass. But 2-point conversions don't. There's no strategy. You don't need to pick up a first down, and the best team doesn't always win. It's to me, it's the luckiest team wins that game.
Don't forget last year in Thanksgiving weekend, Georgia and Georgia Tech went 8 overtimes in Athens, and the game Georgia Tech led most of the way. And I'm looking at the score right now. They did not score at all in the 3rd, 4th, 6th, or 7th OT. They both scored in the 5th OT, and then Georgia scored in the 8th OT to win and stop Georgia Tech to win 44-42. So, yeah, you're right. It's I don't like it either. I think it's a crappy way to figure out who's going to win a game. I mean, I know you could play all night if you do the regular overtime, scenario, but I still like that idea better.
But you've got 80 kids on scholarship, so even if people are tired, you got 4 football teams.
That's true. It's not like in the NFL if you were to play you don't play and you only play 1 overtime.
Right?
Yeah, it's true. Good point. But South Carolina State does get that win, though, in the 4th overtime, so they win. And by the way, we didn't pick this game, I don't think, did we? Oh, it was not a part of our picks. And I actually ended up doing an ESPN, a couple of ESPN brackets and the CFP bracket and put, just to see. I actually picked South Carolina State because I'm coming in thinking they're going to beat Prairie View. And then the more I read about it, I'm like, yeah, Prairie View's pretty good. But this time South Carolina State wins a thriller at the Celebration Bowl as well. So it was a couple other bowl games we'll talk about later, as well as the final regular season game of the 2025 season. But first, on to the 1AA playoffs, as we still like to call it, FCS, everyone else calls it, I know. Friday night's game in the quarterfinals, only one game last Friday. It was Montana State at home, the 2 seed beating the 7 seed Stephen F. Austin 44-28. Justin Lamson, 20 of 26. For 246 yards, 2 touchdowns. Montana State Bobcats 12-2 move on to the semifinals as they beat the Lumberjacks of Stephen F. Austin, were 11-3. Tailback Adam Jones 114 yards, 2 touchdowns for Montana State. Stephen F. Austin fumbled 6 times, losing 4 and throwing an interception. So Montana State, they're going to be home for the semifinals against a pretty familiar foe we'll talk about in a minute. Montana State that moves on, and
wow! I just realized I made a big mistake because I thought that game was at Montana, but apparently it's at. Oh wait, do I have the seating backwards? Because I'm pretty sure that game was at Montana, not Montana State. I'll look that up while you're looking.
Montana State.
Montana State's listed
on State. They're the 2.
Bobcat Stadium. Yeah, you're right.
They'll host one. Just to tell you, their opponent will be Montana. The Grizz, they won on Saturday, 52-22. Oh, no problem with the 14 seed South Dakota. Montana 13-1, had a 24-7 halftime lead. Never looked back as South Dakota finishes 10-5. Khalil Ayat, I guess is how you say that. 21 of 30, 305 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air, 2 touchdowns to Michael Wortham. He had 11 catches for 201 yards and 2 scores. So, and this is, I'm going to have to check this one out, I think, because I don't watch a whole lot of this, but I'm pretty sure Montana State's going to be a pretty knockdown, drag-out battle. So the winner go into the championship game.
Oh, it's definitely, you could, arch rivals, this is the second time they played this year. We'll talk about the matchup in a little bit, but this has become one of the premier rivalries in 1AA. And we talked about this last week. 1AA is pretty much regionally. You got the Montanas, you got the Dakotas, North Dakota, South Dakota. Usually one of those teams in that area is going to play for a national championship. The other team will either, if it's not those 2 of those teams going at it, it's going to be a team from the eastern, like the Marshall, the Youngstown states, those type of teams. and we possibly could be getting that. Actually, we will get that again, in January, because we're gonna have a Montana team versus a team from the northeast area part of the country.
Yeah, that's you're right. That's what we're looking at because our other semifinal. How about Villanova? You mentioned Illinois State winning 3 games. How about Villanova winning? I think the last 2 on the road.
Yeah,
Um,
the first one was at home. The next 2 were on the road. Yeah,
and then
and actually,
and
I actually watched this game because I had to Google where the hell is Terrace State at, and it's like southwest of Dallas. It's in a
yeah,
small town called
right.
Stevensville, which ironically, Stevensville High School is playing for a state championship either this week or next week too.
It's not. It's not. There's no town named Tarleton.
No, it's Stevensville, Texas.
Well, Villanova, the 12 seed, goes to Tarleton State after they'd gone to Lehigh the week before and wins 24-21. This game was a wild ending, though. Tarleton State at home, down 5 in the fourth quarter. Fourth down pass in the end zone initially ruled a touchdown, which would have given them the lead. But the officials reviewed and ruled they did not get a foot in bounds, ruled it out of bounds. And Villanova was able to hold on for the win. Jabriel Mace, 151 yards on 18 carries to lead the Wildcats to the semifinals over the Texans. That's an original name of Tarleton State. They finished 12-2, Villanova 12-2. And so for that reason, Villanova gets a home game now in the semifinal because we mentioned this team, Illinois State. They went on the road and beat UC Davis 42-31. The Road Warriors strike again. The unseeded Redbirds now 11-4. Shock UC Davis, who finishes 9-4, that in California. Tommy Rittenhouse, 15-22, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns. Victor Dawson, 148 yards rushing on 29 carries. And Daniel Sobkowitz, 6 catches, 150 yards, and 2 scores. So now Illinois State, to make it to the championship game, will now have to go through Villanova on the road. And both these games, I'm thinking, are Saturday, right?
Yes. In fact, I just updated on my end, not on your end, but the Battle Montana is Saturday, 4:30 on ABC. How amazing is that game going to be on national TV that everybody in the country can watch that game?
And that will precede the that'll come after the Miami Texas A&M playoff game, which is on ABC on Saturday at noon. They're not carrying the last 2. TNT's got the last 2 on HBO Max on Saturday. But yeah, you're right. That game, I'm looking forward to watching that as well. There's going to be NFL games Saturday. This is going to be fun. You got the playoff games, a lot going on Saturday this week, as well as the NFL now starts to head into the Saturday portion of their season. But yeah, so that game is at 4:30, and I'm assuming Illinois State Villanova is at night, maybe, or
7:30 ESPN2.
So ESPN2. So, but Montana State and Montana.
Which that game, I have it backwards, so it's at Montana State.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. So the 3 seed Montana at the 2 seed Montana State. Brawl of the Wild. I love that name. Rivalry renewed, dates back to 1897. Almost said 1987. 1897. Winner takes home the Great Divide Trophy. Montana State won the regular season finale 31-28 to give Montana its only loss. This should be quite a rematch. I'm hoping it snows because I'm going to watch those 2 play in the snow. They're going to play.
Yeah. But, yeah. Well, 4:30 maybe, but if it was nighttime, I would think 100% it's going to be snowing.
Right. Yeah, I would think so too. But we'll see how that shakes out on Saturday. And then the other game, as you said, 7:30 ESPN2, Illinois State 11-4 and the 12 seed Villanova 12-2. Just the 4th time Villanova has made it to the semifinals, first time since 2010. Villanova started the year 1-2. They lost to Penn State, which you can forgive that, 52-6, and then Monmouth 51-34. But they've won 11 in a row since. For Illinois State, their 3rd appearance in the semifinals and have won 8 straight road games against FCS opponents. I'm not sure if either team's been to the championship before. So this might be a first for the winner of this game.
I feel like Villanova has, because for a while you had Villanova, New Hampshire, Delaware, those type of teams. Most of those are in Division I right now. But those type of teams from that conference used to be called the Yankee Conference, then it became something else.
Yeah, that's right. Yankee
Um,
Conference.
but anyway, that whole Northeast section, those type of teams are the ones always playing for a championship. And I think Villanova has been there. I don't know if I don't think they've ever won it, but I think they have been there.
Apparently, in football, Villanova plays in the Coastal Athletic Association now, CAA, which I thought used to be the Colonial Athletic Association. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Villanova's joining. Yeah,
I remember being the Colonial.
Villanova's joining the Patriot League though next year, so 2026. But of course, in Villanova, well, they were in the Big East in basketball all those years, and now they're in the American. I forgot what conference. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
For basketball.
Yeah, I think it's American. Right?
I thought it was still the it's the one with Creighton.
Oh, they do have the Big East. You're right. Yeah. They do still have the Big East. Yeah, Creighton's in it, and Butler, and yeah. Right. So, I can't keep up with it anymore. But anyway, so that will be
Marty. Newsflash for you: July 1st, it's changing again. We have more conference realignment July 1st.
Remember,
because you got the Pac-12 coming back with new teams.
That's right, you do. So we'll see that again. We'll wait till the summer to worry about that. But this is the College Football Gridiron Report. Marty Pallman and Corey Davis in the North Florida College Football Gridiron Report, live from our homes tonight again on this Monday night. And we are talking right now. We've been talking FCS 1AA playoffs. By the way, the championship game, I believe, for that will be the Saturday before the Division I championship, right? Which is on Monday the 19th. Don't they play it like the Saturday before? Or?
Yeah, I think it's for some reason January 17th.
Yeah, so they're going to have a lot of time off after the semifinals this week. But I know they set that up for
and that'll be at Vanderbilt. So that'll be a nice flight for the Montana team. Or
actually, no, January 5th apparently is when they're playing. So
okay, all right,
the first weekend of the year, at Vanderbilt, like you said. So,
but still, that's 2 weeks off though.
Yeah, and considering the one bowl game we just had the other day, Boise State had like a week off. That was it between.
January 5th is a Monday. Wow.
Oh, they're going to play it on Monday. Okay,
that's crazy.
So they're going to have I'm sure it'll be a national.
It's always been on Saturday, so that really blows my mind that they would play that game, a 1AA championship game, on Monday.
Yeah, that is different. That'll be kind of a first for that.
That game's always Saturday on ABC or ESPN. That's going to be really weird to see that game at nighttime during the week.
Yeah. So first for that this year. So that's again the semifinals coming up this weekend in 1AA. Last regular season game of the year in the FBS 1A, Navy. This game is always close. It doesn't matter how good the teams are, as we said. Navy, who came in 9-2, Army was 6-5, but Navy on 4th and goal, Blake Horvath throws an 8-yard touchdown pass to Eli Heidenreich. Right, those guys have had a great year, both of them. With 6.5 minutes to go, so Navy ranked 22nd, rallies back to beat Army 17-16 in Baltimore, the 126th meeting between the two. Second straight win for Navy over Army. They now lead the all-time series 64-55-7. On that winning drive, Navy had it at the 1-yard line. They nearly fumbled the ball away. In fact, Navy fell on the ball back at the 8. And then after an incomplete pass on 4th down and goal, they complete a touchdown, which, is interesting too to see that. But Navy, after that, was able to hold on and beat Army. So for Navy, the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, they get it again. Between Navy, Army, and Air Force to begin in 1954. And since 1963, this was only the 6th time both teams entered the game with winning records. 1996, 2010, 2016, 2017, and then the last 2 years, 2024 and 25. Both teams are going to bowl games, so they'll finish off. Navy's playing Cincinnati in the Liberty Bowl, and Army's playing UConn in I think it's the Fenway Bowl. Or is it the Armed Forces? I got to look that up. But I know they're playing UConn. But hey, this game is a classic, and Navy got the win.
Yeah, I always watch this game because it's one of my favorite games of the year. It makes me sad because you know that's when between rivalry weekend and this game, that makes you think, oh man, college football is almost over, and thank God we got the playoffs and the bowls. But um, I like it because it's a huge rivalry game and there's so much tradition with this game. But then it also tells me that hey, college football is nearing the end. But um, I can remember watching this game back when we talked about last week how it was on ABC for many years with Brent Musburger calling the game on and Keith Jackson. And there were years, like we said, it's only what 6 times that they've had winning records. I can remember that many years this game was 2-8 versus 3-7.
Yeah, it was. It was for pride really most years.
Yeah.
And the last few years, both teams have been pretty good. Yeah, Army's playing in the Fenway Bowl against UConn. That'll be on Saturday the 27th, and Navy will play Cincinnati in the Liberty Bowl, which is not until January 2nd. But yeah, right. It used to be that kind of game where literally they were playing for pride. Now these teams are both been pretty good. Navy actually almost played for the conference title. They just lost to North Texas. By the way, Army last year won their conference title, then played Navy the next week and lost. And apparently, from what I read, Navy's quarterback Blake Horvath say that the Army players were talking trash about losing to Navy last year because they won a conference championship. So they wanted to put that into Army's head.
Well, and that's the thing. This game was actually a conference game, but the conference had already been decided because you have a conference championship game. And, that's the one bad thing about this game is if either team are involved in actually, Navy played in the championship game a couple years ago.
So did Army, yeah.
And actually, I read a story yesterday that there is talks about moving this game up a week to avoid that scenario where what if one of the teams plays? No, it would have to be more than a week because last week would have been the conference championship games, correct?
It was, yeah.
Well, they're talking about moving this up because they can't move it back. And also, these teams need this win for a bowl, and because they play so late, Army and Navy both have to have 6 wins before this game because the bowl games will. In fact, because this happened a couple years ago, one of the teams needed a win to get bowl eligible, and the bowl system was like, no, I'm sorry that you don't have enough wins. We can't wait for you to finish this game. So, and then they already picked the bowl. So, but yeah, there's talk about moving this game to a different week.
I think no, go ahead.
I even heard week 0, which was kind of crazy.
I don't know about playing at the beginning of the year. I don't like that idea. Yeah. I kind of like it when it is. The only thing that I think they could, well, like you said, the only problem is they can't move it a week earlier because those are the conference championship games. If one of them makes it, I think last year it almost was Army and Navy playing for the conference championship. There was talk about this. I think in the end, Army made it, Navy didn't, but they were going to play. They would have had to play one week for the conference championship, and then their game the next week,
right?
The regular game. So that would have been something. But can you imagine them playing for a conference title? That would be. I'd watch that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and then turn around and play the very next week.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, yeah. That I hope it happens because that would be really cool to watch.
Right. So that was the final regular season game on Saturday. Meanwhile, one bowl game. We've only had one bowl game so far, although that'll pick up tomorrow a little more with some games. But the LA Bowl, I love this. LA Bowl, which they called the Bucked Up LA Bowl, presented by Rob Gronkowski. And could be, and it sounds like might be the final game of these from SoFi Stadium in LA. All Washington, 38-10 over Boise State. Damon Williams, 15 of 24, 215 yards, 4 touchdowns. Denzel Boston at 6 catches, 126 yards and a touchdown as Washington finishes 9-4. Max Cutforth, 15 and 27, 202 yards and 1 down, but 3 interceptions. Boise finishes 9 and 5, although they did win the conference title. I watched this game. It was never close. Washington really dominated from the start. And I guess now the next question is Jedd Fisch going to go to Michigan? That rumor's been talked about for Washington. But a really good year, too, for him at Washington, going 9 and 4.
Well, and we've had so many coaching changes, and there's I've even seen it on a 1AA level. We've had so many changes too that it's hard to keep track of who's going where, who's coming in, who got fired. Because we had so many last week on Sunday after the conference championship games. We had and in fact, we even had one.
Keep talking. I'm plugging this in. Keep talking.
Tulane and North Texas played for a conference championship, and both coaches had already agreed to coach somewhere else, which is kind of crazy. But that's right. That's what we're doing right now.
Yep, that's right. And we're going to see some more games like that. We're going to see teams with 2 interim coaches playing each other. We're going to see a lot of that during bowl season. But for Washington, again, 9 and 4, we'll see. Jedd Fisch's name has been mentioned at Michigan. He's a former assistant with the Wolverines. Of course, Florida never really looked at him, I don't think. But so we'll see what happens with that. And by the way, we still have a lot of time left in our show. We'll go up to a little bit after 9 o'clock. And coming up, we'll have some picks. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. We have a bunch of picks. And in fact, I added 2 more because I realized I forgot the 1AA semifinals. So we'll start with those when we get there.
Well, and this wasn't in the rundown. I wanted to talk about this, but Fernando Mendoza wins the Heisman. From first time an Indiana player has won the Heisman Trophy, and he won it by a large margin. I think he won the Maxwell, the Davey O'Brien as well. He pretty much swept the awards. I think the main story that came out of this, though, on Saturday night, Diego Pavia finished a distant second and then went off on social media. I think he's going to cost himself because it was just he showed himself out, like I said, F Indiana, and I don't know. I really like this kid. I've liked this kid up until now. Now I'm like, there are going to be some NFL teams that are going to look at it and go, no.
It reminded me of a certain person that played it in the SEC that won the Heisman, that played at HEM. It reminded me of Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel, yeah. He's got a lot of Johnny Manziel in him, I think. And I actually didn't think that was true. But I mean, a little bit of a gunslinger, yeah, I think, is Pavia. And it's helped Vanderbilt. It has. But I don't know.
It was definitely a side we had not seen of him.
No, well, exactly. I agree. And I actually was a little surprised that Mendoza won it by that much. I mean, I really did not think he'd win it by that large a margin. But
Jeremiah Love finished 3rd, and I'm trying to remember. Salen from Ohio State finished 4th.
Julian
you and
Sayin,
you and I talked about this the other day when I texted you the graphic. We were shocked that Haynes King finished 10th.
I was, yeah. And
now, granted, his last 2 games he didn't play that well, but for the year he had, I thought he would have finished well, like maybe 6 or 7 or 8 range.
I agree. And he finished behind, I think, I'm here. Sorry, did you not? Yeah. I think he finished behind Rodriguez. I'm trying to find the
I can pull it because I
texted it. Yeah, Rodriguez at Texas Tech. The defensive player everybody liked. And in fact, Julian Singh came in 4th as a freshman. Jacob Rodriguez of Texas Tech, who did get 17 first place votes, was 4th. Jeremiah Smith was 6th. Couldn't see that. Ohio State wide receiver. Gunnar Stockton 7th. Okay. Georgia's been good. Trinidad Chambliss 8th, which he's played well for Ole Miss. And then Caleb Downs, a safety from Ohio State, 9th. Haynes King 10th. I think Haynes King was hurt by obviously losing 3 of the last 4 games. They lost to Pitt and Georgia.
Well, you know, I was surprised was not on that list. I was surprised that Carson Beck was not on that list.
Yeah, I agree, because he had been there a couple years ago, and then last year, I remember at Georgia, he was considered supposedly the favorite going in.
Yeah.
But he vote went for Mendoza. He had 643 first place votes, 2,362 points. Diego Pavia got 1,435 or 189 first place votes. Still finished well back. And then you had Jeremiah Love, 46 first place votes, 719 points. And those 3 were really the top by far. Julian Saint only got 8 first place votes. Jacob Rodriguez got 17 and on the way down. But so this year, the Heisman going to Mendoza. He's throwing for 2,980 yards, 71.5% completion percentage, leading the nation. 33. Actually, Julian Saint leads the nation with 33 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, 240 yards rushing as well, and 6 touchdowns. Diego Pavia actually had completed 71. Good numbers there, but we're going to see Julian Sayin coming back, obviously only a freshman there at Ohio State. By the way, this is something I didn't realize about Fernando Mendoza, but he is from Miami. He played at Columbus High School on one of their state championship teams, and they ended up at Cal.
And I wonder if he was on the team that lost to Carson Beck.
Oh, that's right. That was
because
that was Columbus.
Fernando is a junior, right? Is he a junior? I want to say he's a junior.
Yeah, I think he is.
And Carson Beck is
going to confirm that
5th year or 6th year senior.
He's a redshirt junior. Mendoza is, so he can go.
And Carson Beck's got to be a redshirt senior.
But yeah, he's been there a little while now. Yeah, Mendoza was at Columbus High School. Columbus High School. Actually, he originally committed to Yale, then flipped to Cal, and then ended up in Indiana, which a lot of players have ended up in Indiana. But yeah, I think you might be right about that. I'm going to actually confirm that too. And that Mandarin title was back in, let's see, 2000. He was actually he was actually a junior. So it was 2018. Actually, it's been that long ago.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I did not know this, but as a sophomore, he committed to play baseball at Florida. Then he decided. Then he committed to Alabama for football, and he decommitted from Alabama to go to Georgia. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. He did not play Mendoza then because he's a little. I think it was a little before Mendoza was their starter. Anyway, so interesting though. So Mendoza wins the Heisman, and that kind of wraps up the awards week last week. I know that's kind of not a lot of games last week, mostly awards shows. A lot of those. Friday night ESPN had their awards, and Saturday night was the Heisman as well. So, which led into the LA Bowl broadcast. So, all right, well, including the CFP, we can talk about the CFP because we got a game Friday and on Saturday. It's coming this week.
Yeah. Marty, you went 4-2 last week. I went 5-1, which means we are both tied now. 206 and 106.
Tarleton.
Yeah,
I picked Tarleton and UC Davis, right? So,
yeah. No, I picked UC Davis.
Who did you?
What
game did you?
I lost UC Davis, I believe.
I thought I picked UC Davis. I don't remember anymore. I know I picked Tarleton State.
No, I'm pretty sure you picked Illinois State.
Because they had beat North Dakota. Yeah, you might be right about that.
Yeah.
Hey, either way. So we're tied. Good.
Yeah, we
So a
tried.
lot to be decided here. So let's start.
By the way,
Mhm.
before we get to the picks, real quick, there's some news today that came out after I did
Oh,
this.
right. Yeah. About that.
DJ Lagaway has hit the portal, apparently because he had a conversation with new coach Summerall, and they say it's because of NIL, and based on his performance, that Summerall basically said, I guess that you would be better off somewhere else. Is the way I read it.
Well, okay. Yeah, because I did see a tweet from Kevin Brockway today that said that, and I think they, the original belief was that Lagway had decided, and the Gator fans have been hating on this guy, and it's a little much, but apparently they were like, oh, he's bailing on the new coaching staff. Apparently, like you said, this was a mutual thing. I mean, he went in there, Coach Summerall said, I don't see you fitting in here, which makes sense. You get a new coach, you get a new coaching staff, the quarterback's not even going to stay, especially now. And I think the way things have gone here at Florida, it probably is best for him to get a fresh start somewhere, because we know what happened from his freshman year to this year, sophomore year. So, and I think, again, like you said, the Coach John Summerall decided, yeah, I've got another guy, or I'm going to find somebody who, I think they've got a quarterback who he was talking, they may even bring, but I'm not sure at this point. Actually, there was a rumor today about trying to get Sam Levitt from Arizona State. I don't know if that's going to happen, but anyway, yeah. So DJ Lagway is going into the portal.
And then there was I heard that there was two more that declared today to hit the portal. One of them was either a receiver or defensive back. I saw. Unfortunately, I just deleted the email that had all that in there. Let's see if I can recover it. Because unfortunately I get too many emails. Okay, here it is. 3 more Gators intend to hit the portal. Looks like it's, who's this guy? Jordan Castell, a Florida safety.
Jordan Castell
made 34 starts with the Gators.
Right.
Looks like it's Amir Jackson, tight end. From Statesboro, Georgia, only caught 3 passes for 29 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, I don't even know who this guy is a redshirt freshman running back, Katie Daniels. Well, he never got playing time because Florida's loaded at tailback. And then, of course, Lagaway also today allegedly hitting the portal too. So really that's 4 guys that are hitting the portal so far, which is not shocking because, new coach, new system, and it's the end thing to do is to hit the portal. Even if you start, it's the trendy thing to hit the portal.
It is. You're right. You're going to hear that from all kinds of guys. And, all right,
let's do some picks here.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get to our picks. But, that is some news that just happened today. Are you here? Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yeah, I know I cut out for a second. All right.
Go ahead. We're going to start with Montana and Montana State, Saturday at Montana State. I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
Montana State won the regular season game. This game was at home. I thought it was at Montana. I think the Bobcats get them again. Marty?
Against the Grizzlies in Montana.
And by the way, I think this is
I
think this is the de facto national championship game. Whoever wins this game will win the national.
I agree. They'll be favored, no doubt. Montana State, located in Bozeman, Montana, and
the other one's in
Montana, located in Missoula. Yeah, you know what? I've been sticking with Montana State. I think the home field may make a bit of a difference here. I've already beaten Montana once, so I know that makes it tough. But It was a close game the first time, but with you, I think Montana State at home wins that game. So that leaves us with Illinois State at Villanova on Saturday as well.
I've been riding with Villanova the last 2 weeks. I've called the upset win over Lehigh and Tarleton State last week, so I'm going to go with Nova again.
Why not stick with the Road Warriors? They go to North Dakota State, they win. They go to UC Davis and win 3 straight road games. And this might be, well, I'd say the easier of the 4 because the seeding isn't as high. But who knows? Villanova might have been better off on the road winning these games they've been winning. So I'm going to stick with the Redbirds. I'm going to go with Illinois State to pull off another win on the road and go to the FCS championship game.
All right, Gasparilla Bowl and Tampa, Memphis. Now, granted, we did a couple of bowl games last week, but I didn't know exactly what day we were going to be doing the show. So we have 3 other games we picked last week that will go on to tomorrow to the next one. They're like literally tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday games.
Right.
They were kind of BS games with Troy and
Jacksonville State play tomorrow. Yeah, that's right.
So the rest of these games, I picked the bigger school games. So Memphis and NC State and Tampa. I was really big on NC State after they beat Tech. They beat was it Duke or Virginia? They beat 2. The quarterback is so dangerous. And the Memphis team, Memphis was so good early on, and then they started,
they lost 3 in a row to end. Yeah.
So you don't know what Memphis team's going to show up. So I'm picking NC State.
Remember, again, with bowl games, the motivation also matters. Memphis coach is heading to Arkansas, Ryan Silverfield. So Memphis, I think, going with an interim coach at this game. But I agree. I think NC State has been play for. So I'm going to go with the Wolfpack to win that game. That's the Gasparilla Bowl. That's this Friday at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa.
The Bush Beans. They have said this week that they were it's free admission if you bring a can of Bush Beans to the game.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
and they also said that don't even think about it. Bush Beans will not be dumped on the winning coach.
Oh man! Well, if they dump mayo on them, they can't dump beans on them. Pop-Tarts or what was the other one? Let's see the other bowl game that
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its. So yeah, of course, Cheez-Its.
And then you got the Pop-Tart Bowl, which
too bad. Let's see some.
Toledo, Louisville. Louisville got hot against Kentucky, big rivalry game. Toledo got robbed. They had a chance to play in their conference championship game, but they lost a tiebreaker. I'm going to go Toledo.
Yeah, really? Wow, I'm a little surprised at that. I look at this as kind of one of those games where the competition is a little different.
I don't trust Louisville.
Well, I know that, but here's the thing: Louisville did beat Miami. They obviously have a chance. They're a talented team. They did lose 3 games in a row there, but to me, the competition matters here. Toledo doesn't play the teams Louisville plays, so I'll go with Louisville to win that game. The motivation, I mean, both teams' coaches are still there, but I'll take Louisville. And that is December 23rd, so that's next Tuesday. We're doing games up till December 27th here, it looks like. The New Orleans Bowl.
I think we said we weren't. I thought we were taking next week off and coming back in January.
Oh, we can do that.
That's what I was under the impression.
I remember you. I didn't know if you wanted to. Kind of remember we said taking time off around Christmas, but I mean, I think you're right. If we come back after Christmas and then talk about, because at that point, the semifinal games will be coming up, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Yeah. So, but all right. So December 23rd, that's next Tuesday, the New Orleans Bowl, Western Kentucky against Southern Miss.
I vaguely know about both teams, but I have been more impressed with Western Kentucky this year. Marty?
Yeah, Western Kentucky, by the way, almost beat LSU in Baton Rouge, like 13-10. They lost to them a few weeks ago. I know LSU's kind of been down, but Southern been in a bowl game in a while. They're back this year, but I Western Kentucky is probably a better team here. I know it'll be played in New Orleans, which Southern Miss may have some more fans, but I like Western Kentucky to win that game there at the Superdome. Christmas Eve, Hawaii Bowl. Hawaii and Cal. Christmas Eve.
Hawaii gets to stay at home in their own comfortable bed. I really like that quarterback. Mm-hmm. He was a true freshman. Hawaii's playing at home. I like Hawaii.
Yeah, this is one of those instances where playing at home, you're at home, and that's going to matter. They started the year with a win against Stanford. Why not end the year with a win against their rival Cal? And they played Stanford in their home stadium. They're playing Cal in their home stadium, and I'm kind of with you too. I think Hawaii staying at home helps. Plus, I like picking Hawaii. So that'll be Christmas Eve when there's nothing else on but this game. So I'll go with the Rainbows as well.
By the way, I was surprised I was surprised we did not have a game Christmas Day, but we don't have a game that day. I'm guessing because we have a handful of NFL games that day.
3 NFL games.
And then NBA is kind of taking over Christmas Day too. But NFL kind of said, screw you, NBA. We're going to have some games on that day too. So I'm assuming
the NFL,
that's
you're right. Yeah, for a long time, the NFL didn't play on Christmas Day. It's true, but they've changed that tune. And by the way, the 3 NFL games, I looked this up today, on Christmas Day are your Cowboys. They're playing the Commanders early on in the day. And then you have the Broncos are playing the Chiefs, which normally would be a big game, but the Chiefs are out of the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes is done. The Broncos may have clinched home field. And there is a third game on Christmas Day. So yeah, there's going to be NFL all day. There's also going to be Lions and Vikings, which again, Broncos Chiefs is the night game. Lions Vikings, which the Vikings are out of the playoffs. I know they kind of ruined the Cowboys a little bit last night in that game, but the Lions are in it.
We still got a 1% chance.
Is that it? Really? I thought it was better than that. But
we need the. I mean, the Eagles have to lose the last 3 games. We have to win the next 3 games.
Yeah, and they're playing the Commanders this week, and I don't know if that's going to happen. Plus, Washington announced today that Jalen is done. He's not coming back this year, so they're going to go roll with Mariota. They're rolling with Mariota for the last 3 weeks. But yeah, you're right. They're going to need some help. And then they play the Commanders, the Cowboys do. But they got the Chargers this week, which isn't going to be easy either. Yep. But anyway, so that's your NFL schedule on Christmas Day. You've got 3 games, and the Lions one of them as well. The Lions may get the playoffs, but we need to have a NFL talk show one of these days. But all right, so that leaves, you said, no games on Christmas. No, actually, there are games on the 26th where we're going to skip those, and move on to the 27th.
Yeah.
Because I know one of those games is the game in Detroit, but
I want to say the Military Bowl. I want to say that's at Navy. I want to say.
Yeah, it's in Annapolis.
Nothing really matters.
You're right.
But
yeah,
Pitt was playing so well, but down the stretch they got killed by Notre Dame. Yes, they beat Georgia Tech, but then they turn around and get killed by Miami. And for that reason, I saw East Carolina play a couple weeks prior to the season ending, and I like East Carolina to win this game.
Why do you like East Carolina? Say it again.
Because I saw them play Memphis towards the end of the season, and that's kind of what knocked. Well, one of the reasons why Memphis got knocked out of the conference title game picture.
Did you see Pitt beat Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I said that. I said Pitt beat Georgia Tech, but then they got killed by Notre Dame, and they got killed by Miami.
Yeah, but that's okay. I still think I'll take Pitt because I don't know a lot about East Carolina, but I think Pitt's going to win. I just think Pitt again, maybe a little bit better competition they played this year. So that is the Military Bowl, Pinstripe Bowl from Yankee Stadium on December 27th. This is a matchup of 2 teams that did not live up to expectations. Clemson and Penn State.
But
Well,
I think this is a
yeah, I
no-brainer.
mean,
Other than motivation,
I-
I'm going with Clemson, assuming they have motivation.
well, they beat South Carolina to end the year. They won their last 3 games. I think Clemson did, but Penn State won their last 3 games too. And keep in mind they were, they are playing with an interim coach. As part of it. So for that reason, I kind of want to lean Penn State because I don't trust Clemson, but I'll go with Clemson as well to win this game. Um, and just because of that reason. Pop Tarts Bowl in Orlando, December 10th, Georgia Tech, 9-3 by you, 11-2.
I love Georgia Tech's offense. I
Yep.
love Haynes King.
Yep.
But their defense has been terrible the last month of the season. Well, actually, it's been pretty terrible the whole year, but it got really exposed the last month. As much as I don't want to do this, I'm going to pick BYU.
Not so fast, my friend. Not time to give up on Georgia Tech yet. Will BYU want to be there after losing to Texas Tech in the championship game of the Big 12? I don't know. Yeah, BYU's talented, but I think Georgia Tech, given some time off, Haynes King's last game there, they'll find a way to win this game. I'm not going to go away from the Yellow Jackets. I picked them every week this year so far, and even against Georgia, and then I'm going to go with Tech to win this game in Orlando. But
right.
so yeah, I mean, I'm going out on a limb a little bit there, maybe. But all right, New Mexico Bowl, North Texas and San Diego State, December 27th. That's an interesting game.
Yeah,
11-2 against 9-3.
Two really good teams that one of them lost in the championship game of their conference. San Diego State would have been, but they lost at tiebreaker. Geographical wise, they're pretty. Well, San Diego is probably a little closer to New Mexico than Texas, I would assume. North Texas doesn't really have a coach. I'm going to go with the Aztecs.
That's interesting because you and I are diverging here. Team. I mean, I think we've seen that. 11-1 through the regular season. Tulane beat them in the the championship game of the American, but it's still San Diego State. They lost a chance to play for their championship, their conference championship. So I'm going to take North Texas. I think the Mean Green win this game. I think their offense again set records this year for points scored. So I like them to finish their season off with a win. So yeah, we're diverging left and right here. All right, so then that leaves us with the Jacksonville game, the Gator Bowl, Virginia 10-8-4. That'll be the night of December 27th on ABC, Saturday the 27th.
I would love to be at this game because it's two teams we don't normally get to see in the Gator Bowl.
True. Missouri, I think, has been there since like the 50s or 60s. Yeah.
I remember a couple years ago, it was like Tennessee versus Indiana. Mississippi State played there 1 year. I think, wasn't that against Georgia Tech, I think?
Mississippi State played Louisville there 1 year and Lamar Jackson, actually. And they played Michigan there, too. A couple like back when Rich Rodriguez was at Michigan. Yeah, Mississippi State.
As much as I would, my mom's from Virginia. I have family from Virginia. I have family from the mountain part, and then I have family from near Norfolk, Newport News. My mom would kill me if she found out who I'm going to pick in this game, but I don't trust Virginia. I'm going with Mizzou.
Yeah, I think Virginia, I really didn't think they were going to lose to Duke in that ACC championship game. But now my question is the motivation for Virginia. They might have thought they were going to be in the CFP. They would have if they won the ACC championship game. Now they got to play Missouri. Missouri's not a bad team. All 4 of their losses came to highly ranked teams. So, yeah, I agree. I'm going to take Missouri as well to win this game. This game, I don't know what to think about this game. Texas Bowl, LSU in Houston, December 27th. Talk about motivation.
Well, for me, this is a no-brainer. I mean, early on, I couldn't trust this team because they would lose games that they had no business losing to. But I'm going with the Cougars.
You know what? It's funny. At first, I kind of wanted to take. And wait a minute, isn't this game in Houston?
No, it's
Is it?
in
I thought it was at
Dallas.
the. I thought it was at the Texans Stadium. Yeah, I
I
think it
don't.
is. The Texas Bowl, I believe, is in at NRG Stadium. If that's the case, Houston's at home. Yeah, it's in Houston. So
Okay.
yeah, Houston's playing at home basically in this game. And LSU, I mean, again, they've been a mess. Even to get to a bowl game, I think was kind of they were kind of lucky to do that. Interim coach for them. They're waiting on Lane Kiffin to get there. I like Houston as well to win that game. All right, so that brings us to the college football playoffs before we sign off. Just a few more moments here, and we will talk to you after Christmas. So we hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you before the New Year's are over. But this Friday night, looking forward to this game. Friday night by itself, Alabama at Oklahoma, a rematch of Oklahoma winning at Alabama during the year in Tuscaloosa. This time the game is in Norman.
Man, yeah, because Oklahoma, I believe, won at Bama last time they played.
They did by 2. Yep.
Yeah. I think Bama gets revenge. I think they're going to be motivated because they probably didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. And I think they're going to be motivated to get revenge.
I've been going back and forth on this game. At first, I kind of thought the same thing, that Alabama would be motivated. But honestly, Alabama has not been playing well. I mean, they looked bad against Georgia in the SEC championship game. And then, before that, they had lost to Oklahoma at home. Oklahoma, on the other hand, has been kind of odd, too, because they haven't exactly been playing their best either since they beat Alabama. And, they nearly lost to LSU at home. I know this game's in Norman, and that's why I kind of lean towards Oklahoma. But you know what? I'm with you there. I think Alabama's going to find a way to win this game the second time around. So I'm gonna roll tide with this as well. I like Alabama to win at Oklahoma already. Miami at Texas A&M. That's the noon on ABC ESPN on Saturday night at Kyle Field. That place is rocking. This is gonna be 11 a.m. Central start. But
Right.
but honestly, go ahead.
Why is this game so early?
I don't know.
Why is it so early?
Why Tulane and Ole Miss is being played at 3:30 you couldn't play the Oregon game at noon. That's the problem. James Madison. The only one you can.
Is it because of maybe it's because of the Montana game being at 3:30. But still, seems like ABC doesn't have do they have a nighttime game?
No. No, they don't, because the playoff game on Saturday night is on TNT, James Madison and Oregon.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure.
So you don't know which Miami team's going to show. Obviously, they're going to be motivated because they're in the playoffs. But I like ATM to win this game.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of arguments for Miami here win this game, and I know Miami's in the playoffs. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but I don't really know if they're a team that's really good enough to win a game on the road. So I'm going to take A&M as well to win this game on Saturday. Yeah, we'll go in order. Saturday, Tulane at Ole Miss. I don't really need a whole lot of time to, honestly. Ole Miss, I think, will win this game. They won 45-10, and I don't know what's going to change at this time other than Ole Miss turned over 7 times. So that leaves us with James Madison, Oregon. Ole Miss, right? That leaves us with James Madison at Oregon Saturday night. Same thing. I don't see James Madison going across the country and winning in Eugene. I know it's been a really good year for them, but Oregon's going to win this game.
I agree. So that means we have 5 games that are different.
That's good.
I like that.
Have a little bit of a difference, yeah. None of the playoff games, though. It's the same on those. But, yeah, the bowl games, you're right. We have some different picks there. So that'll be good. But we have also the games, like you said, that are coming up this week. So we'll take a look at those next week as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Corey, that's it. Merry Christmas. We'll we'll talk after
Happy New
the
Year.
holidays again. Happy New. Well, we'll be back
Yes.
before then. We can actually say that when we come back here after Christmas. But anyway, thanks for watching tonight. Our special Monday edition here of the North Florida College Football Gridiron Show and our Gridiron Report, and live from our homes tonight. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the football playoff games this week. We'll talk to you after Christmas and look forward to the next round of playoffs as we head into January. And that's it. Good night, and we'll talk to you again soon. For Corey Davis, I'm Marty Pallman. Good night.
See ya.
Bye.